work hard, genuinely hard, and you still feel behind. Still feel like no matter how much you do, the finish line keeps moving. This is not a motivation problem. It's not a discipline problem. There are 5 specific reasons this happens, and most of them have nothing to do with how hard you're trying. Hi, I'm Hana. This is Mind Bloom. Reason 1. Every time your income rises, your expectations rise. Psychologists call this the hedonic treadmill. The raise arrives, life improves briefly. Then a new normal sets in, and the same restlessness returns. You're not ungrateful. You're not broken. Your brain is doing exactly what it evolved to do: adapt to new conditions and search for the next improvement. The problem is that financial progress requires accumulation, saving the difference between what you earn and what you spend. But the hedonic treadmill quietly closes that gap every time it opens. Income rises, spending rises to match. Net position stays roughly the same. Working harder doesn't solve this. Earning more doesn't solve this. Only a deliberate decision to let the gap stay open, to not let the lifestyle inflate with the income, actually changes the equation. Reason 2. The cost of the things that matter most has risen faster than wages for decades. Housing, healthcare, education, childcare, not optional expenses. They are the foundations of a stable life. And in most developed economies, their cost has grown significantly faster than median wages over the past 30 years. This means that a generation that worked as hard as their parents, or harder, has found themselves with less to show for it. Not because of personal failure, because the math changed. Understanding this matters because the story most people tell themselves about why they're behind is a personal one. I'm not disciplined enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm not working hard enough. When sometimes, often, the more accurate story is the conditions changed. And nobody told. Reason 3. You are spending your most valuable asset on activities that don't build wealth. Time is the one resource that cannot be recovered. And the way most people spend their working hours, trading time directly for money, with nothing building in the background, means that the income stops the moment the effort stops. Wealthy people, as a category, spend significantly more of their time on activities that generate returns without requiring their continuous presence. Not because they work less, but because they've structured where their effort goes differently. The person who works 60 hours a week in a job has 60 hours of labor. The person who works 40 hours building a system has 40 hours of labor plus whatever the system produces while they sleep. Working harder within a structure that only rewards hours is like rowing faster in a boat with a hole in it. Reason 4. You are paying a poverty premium you've never calculated. Research in economics has documented something called the poverty premium, the phenomenon where having less money actually costs more money. You can't buy in bulk because you don't have the cash up front, so you pay more per unit. You use short-term high-interest credit because you can't access long-term low-interest products, so you pay more to borrow. You live further from work because housing near your job is unaffordable, so you pay more in time and transport. You defer maintenance on your car, your health, your teeth, because the upfront cost feels impossible, and pay far more when the deferred problem becomes a crisis. These costs are invisible in the sense that nobody presents them as a bill, but they accumulate into a significant and ongoing tax on people who can least afford to pay it. Reason 5. You are measuring yourself against a curated highlight reel, and it's making everything feel worse than it is. Social comparison is one of the most powerful forces in human psychology. We don't experience our financial situation in isolation. We experience it in relation to what we see around us. And what we see around us on social media, in advertising, in the visible consumption of people in our networks, is systematically skewed toward the top. People display their best, their upgrades, their milestones. Nobody posts about the debt behind the vacation, the anxiety behind the car, the relationship stress behind the renovation. So you compare your internal reality, which includes all of that, to other people's external performance. And you consistently feel behind a standard that doesn't actually exist. So you work hard, and you feel behind. Some of that feeling is the hedonic treadmill resetting your expectations every time they're met. Some of it is structural, a cost of living that has genuinely outpaced wages for a generation. Some of it is a system that rewards capital over labor, that pays more for what you own than for what you do. Some of it is invisible costs that compound quietly in the background. And some of it is a comparison to a standard that was designed to be unachievable. You are not behind because you're not trying hard enough. You're behind because the race is longer than anyone told you. The track is uneven, and most of the markers of progress were designed to move. Knowing that doesn't fix everything, but it changes the question from what's wrong with me to what's actually happening here. And that second question is far more useful. I'm Hana. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. See you in the next one.